What's up, Eagles Nation? I basically called it. I told my boss. My boss was able to get tickets to the playoff game next week. Him and his wife are going to go. And he got tickets from one of his family members who's a season ticket holder. Couldn't make the game to see in Florida. So I told my boss on Friday, I'm like, you're going to see them play the Falcons. I just had a feeling. I had a feeling the Falcons are going to win that game. Listen, the Rams, yes, last night they played scared. They coached scared. They played scared. They had a Pro Bowl special teamer fumble the ball like numerous times. And when you do that, you're not going to win. The Falcons won the game last night. Look, they had experience. Absolutely. They went to a Super Bowl last year, and to their credit. They had a great year a year ago. They went there. They probably should have won the Super Bowl. They didn't. But now they seem to be, that team on the mission, this year to get back to a Super Bowl. Listen, the past is the past, the history is the history. The Atlanta Falcons have never really played well in Philly. Matt Ryan has yet to win a game as a starting quarterback in the league against the Eagles in Philly. He beat them in Atlanta, not in Philly yet. Matt Ryan and the Falcons won their first playoff game on the road in the Matt Ryan era last night. Is it to say they can't win here? No, they can. This is a very good football team. Obviously, lots of playoff experience from going back a year ago. And, I mean, they have played well. They've turned their season around. They're like the hot team now coming in. So, look, it's going to be a challenge. It's definitely going to be a tough game. Nick Foles has to play better, absolutely 100%. But the one thing I think this team has going for them, and I love the way that leaders on this team like Malcolm Jenkins spoke up and said, no one believes they're going to win. Everyone's picking against them. You watch next week on ESPN and the NFL Network all across the board, and who's going to win the game. It's probably all going to be the Atlanta logo. No one believes in this team. And part of that is because of the injuries. Not just the Carson Wentz, who, look, that's the biggest injury we know. He was an MVP. He would have won the MVP. I mean, you might as well put an asterisk next to whoever wins the MVP this year because they won because Carson Wentz got hurt in the game against the Rams. And I know, I get it. We were dealt a bad card with the injuries, but I will tell you today, as I've said before, with all of these injuries, even before Wentz got hurt, this team went 13-3. Number one seed in the NFC. They have 2 home games to win to go to a Super Bowl. Now, when you get there, it is what it is. You play the game. You see what happens. But you have 2 home games here at a stadium that this team has played very well at the last 2 years, and particularly on defense. They have played great defensively throughout the board, across the board, I should say, at this stadium. Last year when the Falcons were the number 1 scoring offense in the league, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they scored 15 points in the stadium. And that was the year when the Eagles went 7-9. Okay? So this team can beat the Falcons. This team can play well defensively against them. The Falcons, the thing that kind of worries me a little about the Falcons, not just, they experienced, they got to the Super Bowl, whatever, but how they played this year. This is a different offense than they were a year ago, and they have a different O coordinator, and I get that. Same players, but their offense looks completely different. It's weird. But the one thing that they do very well is yak yards. They are very good at the run after the catch. And you saw that last night. The big play, one of the big plays on that last drive was Sanu catch and run, down the sidelines, and he's going for a big gainer. The Eagles' defense has got to tackle. One of their problems this year has been on plays like that, just like that. What you saw Mohamed Sanu do to the Rams defense towards the end of that fourth quarter last night, those are the type of plays that have hurt this defense. We saw it against the Giants. We've seen it in other games. The simple little bubble screens or slants or, little passes that just go for big yards. This is where the onus comes in on this linebacking core, on the safeties, the corners. You guys got to tackle next week. The Falcons are a very good yak attack team. Okay, they're not that type of. They don't go deep as much. They have Julio Jones. He's a beast. He's one of the best receivers in the league. Absolutely, the guy's going to be a problem. Okay, but their offense is all about the intermediate passing game, screens, slants. It's the catch and go mentality of that offense, and their running backs are really good at that. Freeman and Coleman. They're very good in the screen game. They're very good at the little passing games. They're athletic. Okay, they make plays. But again, this is where this defense comes in. This is where our defense has got to tackle. And the defensive line, that's been one of the real strengths of this defense all year. And I know they kind of got tired out towards the end of the year and whatnot, but now they're well rested. You got Cox and Jernigan well rested. Make a difference, man. I'm telling you, one of the reasons why the Falcons won last night, their offensive line played a heck of a game. And I've always said this game is won in the trenches, and it is. You just look at the history of this game. Where is it won? It's won it up front. And up front, they had that want to last night. They wanted it more than the Rams defense wanted it. And it's not a disrespect to the Rams defense, but the Falcons offensive line had a heck of a game. And they kind of at times took over that game. And here, this defensive line cannot let that happen. This defensive line has got to get pressure on Matt Ryan all game long. Make him uncomfortable. There were times last night where he was a bit uncomfortable, but he was able to work that pocket kind of like Brady does. You see it all the time. You saw Matt Ryan do it last night. This defense has got to get pressure, sustained pressure. This offensive line for the Falcons, last year they were like the best offensive line in the league. And it's one of the big reasons why they had the success they did offensively, and Matt Ryan was the league MVP, because up front they were blocking for him really well. And they were together all year. They haven't really done that this year. And I still don't think that offensive line is a great strength of theirs going into the playoffs. They played well last night. Give them a lot of credit. They did. But next week here, this D-line has got to go back to being dominant like they were for a large chunk of the season, get pressure, and get turnovers. See, that's the other thing. That's the other reason why the Falcons won the game last night. They got turnovers. And it's kind of like this stat. But I saw this stat. I forget where I saw it. I think it was ESPN.com. The Eagles this season are 13-1 when they get turnovers. When they don't get turnovers, they're 0-2. And it was the Seattle game and the Dallas game at the end of the year. And the Dallas game at the end of the year was like a ho-hum, no-nothing type game. It didn't mean anything. They had all the backups playing for the most part, but they didn't get turnovers in that game, and they lost. They didn't get turnovers against the Seahawks, and they lost. So you got to win the turnover battle. And it's a simple thing to say. You see it all the time. How do teams win in the playoffs? You win the turnover battle. That's what you do. But this team, when they get turnovers, more times than not, they win. Okay, so you got to get the turnovers. You got to win those battles. When opportunities are there to take, you got to take them. And the same thing goes for the offense. I mean, Torrey Smith last week, big drop. Can't do that. I mean, I saw, and I know I know Travis Kelce was out for the second half of that game last night against the Kansas City Titans game. But you saw their backup tight end drop a huge third down play that would have kept that drive going. Maybe the Chiefs win that game instead of the Titans. And I know all the momentum was with the Titans at that time, but I forget the name of the guy, the backup tight end who came in after Kelce got hurt with a concussion. He dropped a huge third down play late in the game that would have extended the drive. And who knows, maybe it's different. Maybe the Chiefs get a game-winning field goal and they win the game. So that's what I mean. When there's opportunities there, particularly in the playoffs, you got to take it. You cannot miss opportunities. And whether it's Torrey Smith or Nelson Aguilar or Alshon Jeffrey or the tight ends or running backs, whoever, when there's an opportunity there to make a play on third down, you better damn well make the play. It's just that simple. It's that simple. The Falcons made plays. They made plays on third down last night. They extended drives. They got points. They did what they had to do to win that ball game. Was it pretty? No, you're not going to win pretty in the playoffs. You're just not. But they found a way to get a win on the road. And, I mean, look, nothing against L.A., nothing against you Ram fans out there, but it's a little different. I mean, the other thing I noticed about that game is that fan base made no impact in that game at all. None. They didn't draw any offsides, false starts, nothing. They made no impact in the game. You had Snoop Dogg out there, wearing the Rams jacket, like posing as a Rams fan. I mean, we all know he's a Steelers fan. I mean, come on now. He's a USC fan. He's true there in college, but for the pros, he's a Steelers fan, and it's a fact. When you see an Eagles game, you have Bradley Cooper wearing Eagles stuff or Mike Trout. They're Eagle fans. They're from this area. They have always been Eagle fans. They make no bones about it. They are Eagle fans. So L.A., they get Snoop Dogg. And hey, look, Snoop Dogg's the guy to get, right? L.A., I know, he's SoCal, everything. I get that. But he's not a Rams fan. He's a Steelers fan. So, I don't know. That was, kind of interesting seeing that. Like, okay, well, they had to do that. I guess they had to pick someone. So, be like Ice Cube wearing a Rams jacket, right? He's a Raider fan. Everybody knows he's a Raider fan, So, anyhow, that all being said, that fan base made no difference in that game, but this fan base can. And I'm telling you, I said this in my last video, and damn it, I mean this with every fiber in my being. This fan base has an opportunity. All those times when we say the Eagles, we need the Eagles, right? They need us. They need this fan base to be there next week and then going forward to the NFC title game. Because I'm telling you, they're going to win this game next week. Everyone's picking against them. They're using that as a huge chip on the shoulder. You don't think they see Vegas with the 2-point dog? They're being a 2-point home dog as the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs against the 6 seed Falcons. And I know the Falcons were in the Super Bowl last year. It was last year. They're a 2-point dog at home. And I know it's because Carson Wentz isn't in there and everything. But come on, man. You don't think they see that? You don't think that's kind of, going to be bulletin board material with a huge red circle around it, and everything? All the stuff that the Patriots do to, like, get up for games? You don't think that could be something that the Eagles could use to get up, to get more motivated? But I'm telling you, this fan base, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be down my man cave watching the game, where I watch just about all the games. I won't be there, okay? But you, Eagle Nation, that are going to be at that game, man, I'm telling you, this fan base caused a false start at a key moment on the road against the Giants some weeks ago, okay? This fan base has an opportunity to be one of the difference between this team going to and not going to a Super Bowl. And I mean this with everything I have in me. This is a great football town. This has always been a great football town. I see all these specials, everything like the what was it, the We the Fan last year, ESPN did with the Bears. This other thing. I love these things because the NFL Films, I think they always do an awesome job with things, so I always watch it. They got this new thing this year for the NFL Network. I think it's oh God, I'm blanking on the name of it, but it's another kind of fan thing, with the fans of these different teams, like Why We Care or something like that. I forget what it's called, but I think it just aired this week, and I have it on YouTube. I have to watch it, but in the preview of it, I'm seeing Steelers fans, I'm seeing Titans fans, I'm seeing all these, like, we're the Eagle fans. Why are we never a part of this stuff, It's like, this fan base cares about this team. I'm sorry. I know other fan bases get all the pub and the credit, the 12s in Seattle, the Steelers with the terrible towels, and I understand that. They have like a thing. They have a gimmick. Okay, they have something. The Eagle fans, they claim the fame is the booing of Santa Claus and the snowballs and this and that. Come on, man, that was back in the 60s. Enough. I am part of this community. I have been here my whole life. And one of the reasons I started making this series is because I wanted people to see what it is to be an Eagles fan. Whether you're a fellow Eagle fan, I know there's a lot of great vloggers that do a great job on YouTube and the Eagles Nation. You all do a wonderful job. And I wanted to start a series of my own, trying to break down games as best I can or whatnot. I'm not an expert, believe me, but I've watched this game for many years. And I wanted people to see what it is to be an Eagles fan. What it is to go week to week and the trials and tribulations. It's not easy. This is not a franchise it's easy to be a fan of. We know this. Never won a Super Bowl. Last time we won a championship was 1960. That was long time before I was born, okay? And I'll be 40 this August. This is 40. I'm a man. I'm 40. Okay, so I'll be 40 this August. And I know, my lifetime, I've seen this team. I was too young for 1980, so I've seen this team in one Super Bowl, and they lost to the Patriots. All right, so it's been tough. I've seen them lose tough games in the playoffs, NFC title games. I've seen them have horrible seasons. The dumpster fire year it was years ago with Chip Kelly's last year. I have seen everything you can see besides seeing a Super Bowl title. Everything you can see in the team. Everything. Miraculous wins, horrible losses, playoff wins, playoff losses, going to the Super Bowl, Donovan throwing up. I've seen it all. I've seen it all besides the confetti coming down and going to a parade. That's the only thing I haven't seen. And I'm reminded that many times by different fan bases. I get that. But I wanted to make this series so that other people see what it is to be an Eagles fan. You know, to go through week to week. And in saying that, I get it. There's this outside opinion of who we are and what we are, and we're these horrible people who boo all the time and always think negatively of everything. But to that, I will counter, well, even in a year where we had a great season, one of the all-time best years in Eagles franchise history, 13-3, look at all the injuries. We lose an MVP candidate before the end of the season. So, you know, you must excuse us for being a little negative at times, you know. Winning doesn't come easy here. It just doesn't. Not just with the Eagles, with all four teams. It just doesn't. And I get it. Luck plays a huge role with winning, and there are cities and with teams and coaches and players that just seem to have all the luck. I look at Boston, I look at Chicago, I look at LA, I look at New York. Okay, I know, you know, and in some cases they have more teams, so maybe that's part of it too. But I get it. We're not a very lucky city. This is not a charmed city that gets these great players all the time, great coaches, and everything always seems to work. You know, we have to go through the tough times. We have to go through the losing seasons. We have to go through the rebuild after rebuild after rebuild. And, oh, my God, the trusted process with the Sixers and the tanking. How many fan bases do you know that would have gone through that? But we always have hope. And the one thing about this area that I know above all else, and we love all of our teams, is this is a football town. This is an area that cares about the Eagles. It's always been about the Eagles. It will always be about the Eagles. There is no off season. It's 24/7. You have other areas, and no disrespect to this, but New England, you guys are not deep-rooted football fans. I'm sorry, you're not. You're a baseball town. It's about the Red Sox. Sox. It's always about the Red Sox. When the Patriots go back to losing, when Belichick and Brady, when that time ends, and please let it end at some point. I'm tired of seemingly being held hostage with that team. But you will see the Patriot fans not show up for games. It's back to Sox Nation 24/7, all that. You'll see that. Here, it's all about the Eagles. It's always been about the Eagles. This town, and Ray Dinger put it so eloquently in one of the Eagles history video, it's part of the lifeblood. This team is part of the lifeblood in the Delaware Valley. It just is. It's always been about the Eagles. Whether it's the Kelly green uniforms, the midnight green uniforms, grandfathers holding it, you know, grandfathers passing it to the fathers, passing it to the son. Son gets older, has kids, passes to their kids. It's generational. It's always been about the Eagles. Whatever stadium they've played in, whatever uniform they've worn, the wins, the losses, it's always been about the Eagles. This team has never left and came back. We've never had any. It almost happened in the 80s. Thank God it didn't. But it has been the Eagles. It's the Eagles 24/7. That's what this fan base cares the most about. It's nothing against the Flyers, Sixers, or Phillies. We love them. I'm so happy to have seen a championship with the Phillies in 2008. It meant so much to me. It's the only time I've seen a pro team win in this town. I saw Villanova win after that. But when the Eagles do it, one of these years, sorry, my voice is going a bit. When this team does do it, one of these years, I'm telling you, all these other fan bases, all you have to do, because I'm sure they'll broadcast the game on NFL, the parade on NFL Network. All you have to do is watch that parade, and you'll see what it means. Because that parade, that Super Bowl parade, will be like nothing anyone's ever had. You're going to have more people at that parade. It's going to be the craziest, not in a bad way, in a good way, the craziest Super Bowl championship parade, the most just people upon people upon people, because that's what it means. When you saw the Eagles in the Super Bowl 39, I know, Patriot fans always get all the pub. That was a home game for the Eagles. They made it Jacksonadelphia. It was all Eagle fans, 20-1 against Patriot fans. It means something here, and it's always meant something here. And that's why I give this message, and I did it last video, I'll do it again. You fans, the ones that are going to be at that game, the ones that are going to be tailgating, like they've always done for generations before Eagle games, the ones that are going to be down there, bring that energy. Don't go into the game thinking, oh, woe is us, we don't have Carson Wentz, and this. I know, and I know Nick Foles did nothing to help matters the last 2 weeks. I get that. But be behind this team. Enough of this woe is us mentality. This team still has a chance to win 2 home playoff games to go to a Super Bowl. And you get to that game, you take your chances, whoever they play, the Patriots, the Steelers, whoever. You take your chances, you get there, in Minnesota. Be there. Bring that energy. Boo the hell out of the Falcons. Look, the Falcons should not be comfortable here like they were last night in L.A. They should not be comfortable here, okay? And I know Matt Ryan's from the area. He knows what it's about. He knows. And he's going to be telling his teammates what it is to be here in the play. He knows. But be the difference. All these years we've needed the Eagles. Now the Eagles need us. Be there for them. Don't be there trepidatious saying, oh, and if things start slow, get the hands on your laps and not make any noise. Don't be that fan base. Don't be it. We're better than that. For generations, this town has been behind this team. Through thick and thin. There's been a lot of thin, I know. But through all the good times and all the bad times, this fan base has always been there for them. And now the team needs them more than ever. Because they have been given a bad deal here with Wentz being out. And all these other players, let's not forget, all those other players who aren't going to be able to play next Saturday, too, the leaders of this team that won't be there, like Darren Sproles and Maragos and Peters and Hicks. They're going to be missed, too. They've been missed during the season at times. Absolutely. Let's not forget that. And I know Wentz being out is a horrible blow, and we all feel horrible for him. But do your job. Fellow Eagles fans, make sure the Falcons, when they take the field for warm-ups, are not comfortable. When they're coming on, I'm not promoting violence here. I'm not saying tip over the buses, okay? But remind them where they're playing. This isn't L.A. anymore that they're playing in, okay? This isn't three-quarters full Coliseum. This is Philly. This is Lincoln Financial Field, where this team has played so well the last few years. And this fan base has been part of that reason, making the noise, booing, doing everything that we never get credit for. It's when things go bad, is when people say, look at those horrible fans. But when we do something good, it's like, but be the difference. Be that proverbial 12th man. I know Seattle gets the 12th man. Look, this fan base has been the 12th man before Seattle had a franchise, okay? We don't need the 12, to tell us that, to show that that's what we are. This fan base has made difference in the past for this team winning, and this fan base can do it again. I fully believe it. Because I've seen how this team's played at home. This defense plays ferocious at home, and they know they have to, because their offense isn't going to score the points that they've been scoring with Wentz as the quarterback, so they know that they have to step up their game, and I believe they will. And I believe that Foles will step up his game. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that this guy's going to play the way he did the last 2 weeks. I'm not going to tell you he won't. Who knows? But, I mean, it's on him. And it's on this defense. And it's on you, the fans. Because you, the fans that are going to be there, have a chance to make a difference in getting this team to the Super Bowl. And my God, right? What has been our dream? What has been our goal? To win the Super Bowl. Sure, would we have loved to see Wentz out there and all the other guys and everything going well? Absolutely. But the fact is the fact. We're given the card we're dealt. There's injuries. It's not perfect. We're an underdog. We're Philly. We're always an underdog. Nothing changes. Even if Wentz was playing and all the players, we'd probably still be an underdog somehow, some way. Okay? So make the most of it. This is an underdog town. This is what it's always been. It's the town of Rocky. It's the town of the underdog. That's how it always is. Winning does not come easy here. It doesn't. We're going to have a lot of heart in our throat moments in these playoffs. I know it. But be there for this team, I'm telling you. Because this town is about the Eagles. And the Eagles are about Philadelphia. It's about this area. It's about this region. We bleed the green, whether it's Kelly or Midnight. We're there. We have stories about all these players, all these years, and the good times and the bad. And it's always been about the Eagles. So make sure that you make the difference. I'm talking to all the fans that are there. If there are fans that are going to that game next Saturday saying, "Oh, we don't have Wentz. We're not going." Don't go. Don't go. We don't need you. They're like local Dallas fans. Okay, if that's the mentality, you know, all those fan bases that we always make fun of and say, well, they're not there when the times are tough. Well, now the time's tough. Obviously, injuries play a big role. We know this, but it's time for this fan base to step up and help this team get to that NFC title game a week from next weekend, and then to help them after that get to a Super Bowl. And that's the goal. That's the dream. And this fan base has an opportunity to help make a difference. So make that difference. Be there. You know, full throat. Boo the hell out of the other team. Remind them where they are. Okay, we're not your sit on the hands fans and just be happy that we're in the playoffs. No, this is a fan base that cares about this team. This is a deep-rooted fan base for football, for pro football. It's always been. This team has always meant something to this town, and remind that the Falcons that, and then the Eagles move on next. Remind whoever they play in the NFC title game that. Not going to be easy. Not here. Not here. Well, I don't know what the outcome's going to be. I don't have a crystal ball. If the Eagles play their game, they'll win. I have no doubt in my mind. They play the game they're capable of playing. They will beat the Falcons, as they have done many times here. I think Falcon fans remember playing the Eagles in the playoffs here, don't you? You remember? Need I remind Eagle Nation the last time we played the Falcons in the playoffs, the Eagles went to a Super Bowl? So now we're playing the Falcons again. Not in the NFC title game, but we're playing them again. Falcons have never won a playoff game here. Matt Ryan has never won a game here. And let's keep that trend going. The Eagles got to play a good game. This is a good Falcons team. This is not a bad team. They're a 6 seed, but it doesn't make them a bad team. They're a good football team. They went to a Super Bowl last year. They're a good team. The Eagles got to play their game. They got to tackle. They got to get sustained pressure on Matt Ryan. And offensively, can't turn the ball over. Special teams. God, how the hell? I mean, the Rams last night, every time it seemed they had a punt return or a kick, they were fumbling the ball. Can't do that. Not in the playoffs. Special teams, this is a good special teams unit. Don't fumble the ball. Barner, whoever's carrying it, do not fumble the damn ball. Take a lesson from what the Rams did last night and don't do it. Okay? Defense, get turnovers. Again, this team gets turnovers. They're 13-1 this season. When they don't, they're 0-2. It's a simple stat. It's kind of a duh stat, I know, but that's the stat. Get turnovers. Tackle. Tackle. The yak yards. This is what the Falcons are so good at. Tackle. Got to be disciplined. Got to be disciplined. I like the fact the last 2 weeks this defense has played better. I know they're a very good defense this season, particularly at home. I know they're going to stop the run. It's what they've done all year. I have no fears in that. I know they're going to show up and they're going to stop the run. But it's about getting pressure on Matt Ryan. It's about making him uncomfortable the whole game, and the fans do the same. Okay, boo the hell out of them. Let them know. I look forward to it. Again, I haven't seen this team in the playoffs for a number of years, and I look forward to next week. I know who we don't have, but you can't do anything about it. It's who do we have. And those players who are on the field, they got to make the difference. Can't worry about the players who aren't. Can't worry about the players who are on crutches or in boxes that aren't going to be playing. Can't do anything about it. Sorry, that's the card we were dealt, you know? But it's about who's on the field. And those are the players we got to cheer for. And those are the players we got to help will to get that win. To move ahead to the following week where, again, the Eagles will host a game where they'll be favored to lose. You know, Vegas will pick the Vikings or the Saints or the Panthers, whoever they're going to play. And that they'll all be against the Eagles again. But that's okay. Would you rather it any other way, Philly? I mean, this is what we are. We're an underdog town. And this team is going to use it. I'm telling you, this is bulletin board material this team is going to use. Underdog at home as the number 1 seed. They're going to use it. And I tell you, they're going to be angry next week. I'm telling you, I know this team with the leaders they have on that defense, they're going to be angry. And they're going to remind the Falcons about that next week. Hopefully not penalty. Hopefully not with a lot of yellow flags, but I'm sure they're going to come out, they're going to play. They're going to play. And this fan base has got to be there. I'm telling you, this fan base, again, has a chance to make a difference. And, do what you have to do without being violent and storming the field or something like that. But boo, boo, boo the hell out of the opponent. Remind them where they are, like I've said. And be part of that reason why the Eagles are moving on for another week. All right. It begins now. Next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern Time. Eagles and Falcons, the Battle of the Birds at Lincoln Financial Field. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to watch the game here like I watch all of them. I'll be rooting my heart out for this team to move forward, to get to the NFC title game again, to host it for the first time since they played Atlanta. And we know how that went. So, let's enjoy this. We haven't had playoffs in a number of years. Let's enjoy it. Let's not worry about who's not on the field. Let's just look ahead at who is on the field and root that team, and hope to see them get to the NFC title game. We move on for another week. All right, everyone. Enjoy the games today. Got 2 games. Now we know who we're playing, so the game really doesn't mean anything for us. Basically, now as Vikings fans to see who they're playing in the NFC playoffs next week. But it's the Falcons, and it's going to be it's a tough opponent. They were in the Super Bowl last year. They have weapons, and it's going to be a tough one. But I tell you, the Eagles play their game, they'll win. And this fan base, again, can make a difference in helping them get that victory. All right, everyone. Let's go Birds. Our Birds, the Eagles, the green ones, not the red ones. Let's go Eagles, and I'll see you all in the next vid around the channel. Take care.